Did you ever have a flat and had to be towed in or had to call AAA to put your spare on? Or you found the spare that you have to be flat as well? And many cars nowadays don't have tools anymore, don't even have a spare anymore at all. So there needs to be another way to repair a flat. And today I'm going to show you one of those ways. It's super simple and it works with anything, an SUV, a truck, a car, a trailer, anything, super easy. Why do I make this video now? Well, because it just happened to be a good time for it, since this tire has what looks like a nail in it. And when we noticed this, we were 2.5 hours, about 150 miles away from home, out in the boonies, somewhat close to a little town, but there was nothing really there. And well, luckily we didn't lose much air. When we first got the notification, it was 10 psi low. It was at 38 psi instead of 48. We were at someone's place there, at someone's house. An hour later, it actually dropped another 2 psi. So what we did, we stopped at a gas station a few miles down the road that had some air, and it just inflated it, and we kept driving because it was really not an emergency for us. But now that said, sometimes you lose air much quicker and you can't do that. But if I just lose a little air, I just fill up and keep driving until I have a convenient time to either repair it myself or have someone repair it for me. So in this case, I found, well, it tells us in the car which tire it is, and I found the nail. It's right in there. It looks like a nail. It's stuck in there pretty good. So if you have something in there, do not pull it out. As long as this thing holds air decent, then do not pull out what's in there, because then you're going to go flat immediately. And unless you have a spare or you have something to do it right away, to repair it or whatever, you're stuck. So if you have a nail, a screw or whatever is stuck in the tire, leave it in there. Keep driving, air up as needed, make it home, make it to a tire shop. That's the first thing you need to do. And it doesn't matter what that tire is on, if it's on a passenger car, on a pickup truck, on a big semi, on a trailer. Leave the thing in there, unless you have a repair kit like I do. My favorite repair kit is this thing here, and I'm not talking particularly about this brand. This is Pittsburgh. This came from Harbor Freight. You can buy these little kits here at most gas stations that have a little store, at auto parts stores, and obviously at Harbor Freight. They're always about the same. They usually have the two tools in it. One is kind of like a rasp, and the other one is the tool to insert these little worms that are in here. Some of these kits come with an adhesive, others don't. This one even has a little cutter here, so you can actually cut whatever rest of the worm sticks out. You can cut that off. So if you don't have a kit that has the cutter with it, you want to have a knife with you as well. So you want to add to this kit a little bit. The only other thing is there's nothing here to pull out what is in the tire. So you probably need some pliers, some like side cutters or needle nose pliers, or both, maybe also a little screwdriver. It depends on what you have in the tire and how far it is in. In this case, we're actually below the thread of the tire here with what's in there. So it will be a little tougher to get this one out. But if it's stuck in there pretty good, that also means it's not going to just fly out and you have a flat going down the road, a total flat. So we can easily drive with this. But this here is my favorite kit. I've been using this for, I don't know, at least 2 decades, 3 decades probably. I've been using this thing, and these haven't really changed. And I use them on anything and everything. And I would say about 95% of the time this works. And it works so good that you can drive the tire until it's worn out, actually. Some people say this is not safe. Well, it is not a tire repair like you would get at a tire shop, where they actually take the tire off the rim and they put a mushroom from the inside out, and they put an adhesive on that. That's definitely a better quality repair at a tire shop. But these, they work fantastic. And I just I didn't feel the need to go to a tire shop when I put these in usually. So about 95% of the time, so that means about 95 out of 100 tires work fine. They don't work too great if it's extremely cold, so way below freezing. It can be a little tough. They may not stick so well. It depends a little bit on the tire too that you have. I had one on a trailer in the middle of winter. It was way below freezing on a snowmobile trailer. I put this on, and another 30 miles or so down the road, the tire shredded. So, but that could have been that the tire was bad already. But I used these many times on motorhomes, vans, passenger cars, pickup trucks, SUVs, semis, and they work just fantastic and they hold up great. And if you think this is not safe, well, still have one with you, because you can fix your tire when you have your flat, and then at least make it to a shop somewhere. The other option may be waiting for hours on a tow truck, paying for the tow truck. I mean, it can be pretty costly. Even if you have AAA or something, you may still lose 4 or 5 hours before a tow truck shows up. So I love these things. I've been using them on many things. And oh, by the way, yes, if like new tires on electric vehicles nowadays have that foam inside, it still works. It doesn't matter if there's foam inside or not. As you're poking through with this one tool, you just poke through the foam. Doesn't matter. You just insert that gummy worm the same way and it works. Why use this over something like that? This is a kit here that you get with many cars, that you can buy from many car manufacturers. This kit has a little compressor as well as a can of slime. Now, slime, you can also buy cans of slime at the gas stations and other places. I mean, at Walmart, they sell you all this stuff. They sell you these too. The problem with the slime is, once you inject the slime, you got that slime inside the tire, and it's nasty. So when you get to the tire shop, they may actually charge you extra because you have it full of slime. There is also a chance that it messes with your sensor in there, your tire pressure sensor. It may plug up that tire pressure sensor. Usually these kits that come with a vehicle or are provided by the vehicle manufacturer, they should not do that, but it can happen. In any event, it's going to be a huge mess. Also, if you have an EV tire with the foam inside, that slime may actually not get to the hole and actually be able to plug the hole. So that may be another issue there. So slime, it's not the greatest solution, and slime requires the vehicle to be driven immediately after you put it in. If I use this here, I don't have to immediately drive it or anything because this is sealing it up. What I still need with this is a compressor to air up the tire. And so this here has a compressor with it. So if you have one of those kits, instead of using the slime, you use this, but you use that compressor. Or there are other aftermarket compressors that you can buy nowadays. They come in many different shapes and sizes as jumper packs with compressors, as little tiny suckers with a lithium-ion battery in it. So you can just throw it in your glove box and then you just hook it up and you reinflate your tire. The Rivian here, in this case, it has a compressor in the back. It also comes with a kit, a repair kit for the tire. The Rivian has this little compressor right here. This is an R1S, which this compressor, as far as I know, is now optional, and I think it's like $500 some. So in my opinion, it's kind of waste of money to pay $500 for a built-in compressor that you hardly ever need, unless you're really doing off-roading and you're lowering your air pressure and have to bring it back up. I don't know that I would spend this much money on such a compressor here. There are other ways to do this, like I said, these little portable compressors. If you're actually an off-roader, you might as well go to Harbor Freight and buy a little tiny compressor for like 80 or 90 bucks and then plug it in, because you also got outlets in here, right? So, but anyway, ours came with the compressor and it came with this kit here, and this kit has this in here. This is it says tire checked bead sealer. So this is what should help you basically seal your tire but I don't know, this looks pretty difficult to me. I mean, there's instructions in here and things, and this is worse than that other kit I just showed you, in my opinion. I don't know if that does anything. But yeah, the Rivian kit here also has the air hose in it. So you can actually get from back here to your tires with this. But yeah, I don't know, if you have to buy this here, that's a lot of freaking money compared to this little kit that I just showed you. That's just a few dollars and does the same trick, except you need to add a little compressor to it, which that little compressor can cost $100 or whatever for a portable compressor. But you can also move it from one car to another. So this here is fixed, which it's not bad, but it's really not good either. So let's get back to my little kit that I like so much. One troublesome thing with these here is usually how to get it out of this freaking plastic that is sealed all the way around. The knife is in here that you could use to cut it open. So you kind of have to have a sharp knife with you so you can actually get it out of the package, or have some scissors or something, and then we can get it out. And so before we pull whatever is in the tire out of the tire, we want to get these tools ready so that we don't lose too much air. If we still have some air in it, we want to keep as much air in the tire as possible, because it makes it a whole lot easier to actually work with this. If the tire is totally flat, it's a little more difficult, because as you're trying like to push this rasp in there, it kind of the tire may kind of collapse a little bit, so it may be a little bit tougher, and obviously will take a lot longer to inflate it at the end. But it is still possible to do. It doesn't matter. Obviously, if you drove and you have a complete flat and you drove and it shredded the tire, you're out of luck. Regardless if you have a kit like this with slime, or if you have this, then you need another tire, so you need to call for a tow unless you have a spare and tools. And if you have a spare that's inflated, you make it without tools, you may call AAA or someone to come out and change it for you. So, well, I'm gonna get this out of the package, and then I'm gonna show you how to repair this tire. This little thing right there, this is what's in there. I think it's a nail, I guess, or maybe a screw without screw head. And so it'll be a bit tricky to get this out. And so here we got, this is this little raspy tool. So once we get this out, we put this tool in. And when you insert this tool, you want to insert it the same way that whatever was in there comes out. So if this screw goes in at an angle, you want to go in at an angle and just follow that hole. If it's straight in, you're going straight in. You don't want to enlarge that hole. You just want to basically get a little bit of the debris out and make sure the hole is big enough to insert one of these here. We're just using one of those little worms here, and the hole will be much smaller than this here. We squeeze that in there using this tool here. So we're hooking it through that little opening there, and then push it in, and again you will follow the hole to push that in there, and you will have some of this worm still sticking out. Some of it will be in and some of it will be out, and whatever will be out you cut off with the knife here that's provided in this case, or you just make sure you have one. And then you get this rubber cement with some of them, but not with all of them. And this kit's been old. It's been in the car for years, and not just in this, so I haven't needed it. And this just sounds like it's dried out. I think this is completely dried out. There's no more in here, but usually these worms work just fine without that. This can make it even better. If you actually have a good rubber cement to use those, this will definitely seal it, and you probably wear the tire all the way down with those. But I done many of them without the cement, just with these, and they lasted too until the tire was worn out. So the first thing is we got to get this out, and this is the tricky part here. If you have a screw sticking out or a nail sticking out with a head on it, it's usually a bit easier. This one will be relatively tough to get out, and so you may need some additional tools to have with you besides this kit and a little compressor. You may need some pliers, like some side cutters, needle nose pliers, maybe a screwdriver, a few things. So now in this case, like I said, this one has very little loss of air, so we were easily able to drive home. And if you feel like you don't want to attempt the repair here or pull this out, or you don't have the tools to pull this out, just leave it in and drive to a tire shop and just maybe have a little compressor with you so you can inflate it. Or you stop at a gas station. That's actually what we did. I didn't want to pull out this Rivian compressor stuff and inflate it. We just drove to a gas station, I don't know, about 10 miles away, and then aired it up, and it was all right. I usually have some tools in every car. I'm a mechanic, so I like tools. But they're not necessarily great or in good shape or anything. I mean, you can see these are all a little bit rusty here, but you know, I don't want to carry my nice tools in every car. I mean, I want to keep those in my toolbox. But I'll bring some of these usually along, so there's always some pliers, a screwdriver, a Phillips head, a flathead screwdriver and stuff. Because, yeah, some of those tools come in handy for other things. And especially if you gotta get one of these out here. This one is pretty deep in there. So, you want to be careful. Don't put your face right over here or anything, because as you're working to trying to get this out, well, there's air pressure in here. We got about, I don't know what it is now, maybe 40 PSI or so in there. So this may actually shoot out of here as we're trying to get it out. So be careful about that. Don't put your face or anything in front of there. But let's see if we can get in here. Wow, this one is pretty good in there. There is, it's like no head on it. Wonder if we can get in here with the side cutters. Yep, there, I got it. Oh, there is some head on it. All right. So, oh, that's an interesting one. So I'm gonna work this out. And as soon as I got it out, I want to put this in. This will also help me block the hole at the time. But again, be careful. The air pressure may push this tool out, right? Now, whoop, let's prepare the worm here. And they're pretty sticky. There we go. We'll slide that in here halfway. Let's get it in between there. So there we go. So basically halfway we get it into this opening, and then we can push it in there, and then we can pull this back out and the gummy worm will stay in. So, okay. Let's see. Let's get this out. Oh yeah, it's the screw. And we got a little bit of air coming out, not much. So I'm gonna stick this tool in here. Got the rasp in. Want to rasp a little bit, not too much, not too little. If you do too little, you don't want to get the gummy worm in there. There's gummy in there, right? If you do too much, it goes in, but it may not seal. So we got the worm right here. Let's put some of that cement on. And the only thing, if you put, I usually put it pretty heavy on, and well, as you pull the rasp out, air will blow out, and as you're trying to push this in, that cement can blow away, so don't stick your face right there in any event. So let's do a little bit more here. There we go, that should be good. All right, pull the tool back out. So I stuck it about halfway in. You can see here we got about an inch sticking out. And obviously this is the part that we need to cut off. I'd like to let it sit a little bit with the cement right now, helping it to cure. Like I said, there's some of those that do not have the cement. They still work, okay? The cement helps a little bit, especially if your hole is too big or something, it can help. But in general, it works either way. Even if your cement is dried out, just put that gummy worm in there. It may be a little bit harder to get it in, but it should seal. So now at this point, we're looking pretty good. And I like to air up the tire now and then cut it off at the end here. So I'm gonna get compressor out and air it up. There would have been another possibility for us to like do this actually before we got home. Since we had it held enough air so we could drive, we could have done this at the gas station. That would have been easy because you can use their compressor to fill up air pretty quick. Obviously, filling air is what probably takes the most time. If you have a little tiny compressor, this may take 10 minutes or so, right? I'm using a little pancake compressor from Harbor Freight. It was like 80 bucks, which is small enough that you can bring it along, like if you're doing off-roading and stuff with your Rivian maybe, or your Cybertruck or whatever you're using, right? You can bring that compressor along, and both the Rivian and the Cybertruck do have 110 outlets, so we can plug it in and use that compressor. So if you use any other vehicle, you either need to bring an inverter or you have to bring a generator. Then it becomes more difficult. Then a little tiny battery power compressor is obviously more convenient. Now my compressor just turned off back there, and we're supposed to have 48 psi according to Rivian. Right now we're at 22. So we'll inflate. The compressor probably will come back on because it's a little tiny pancake compressor, and this is a pretty big wheel here. So I can hear now the airflow got a little slow because of the compressor, right? We're at 33 psi now. So I'm gonna wait a little bit till that compressor catches up, and then we get another boost in here. So the same thing on the road, it will be the slowest part. So if you could use a gas station compressor, you're probably faster. They have a bigger compressor there. If you use a little tiny one, it probably takes longer. But so we can wait here. You can see this is in there. Seems to be fine. I'm gonna wait till I have it fully inflated, and then I'll cut the rest of it off. But it'll be all right. So while the compressor is airing back up, I'm gonna show you this here. This was in there, and this is actually a complete screw. You can see it's a Phillips head right there, but it looks like a little tiny screw of sorts. It's interesting, but yeah, the tip is on it, everything. So, and it was stuck in there good. And actually screws stick really good in tires, and in an emergency, if you have a hole in the tire that leaks air quite a bit and you have a screw, you can actually use a screw to put in that hole to help prevent air escaping. So you can actually fix those. A lot of truckers, well, nowadays it's not so much anymore, but in Australia, especially in the outback there, truckers carry screws and fill holes with screws instead of gummies like I do here. So that's another option that will is a possibility. Not that this is necessarily safe or holds or whatever, but in an emergency, a screw can actually fill a hole in a tire and keep you going. All right, I'm all aired up. And since I'm at home, I went around and checked all the others, making sure they're all about the same, right? So this here is good. I don't hear any air escape. So now if you're at home, you can take some soapy water if you have anything, or some Windex or so will do too, and spray it on there. To see if you get bubbles, if it leaks. Or, well, if you want to, you can use some spit, right? That works too, but... So the last thing we want to do is cut this off. There we go. There's a pretty good patch, and like I said, basically these kits are not intended as a permanent repair, but this is definitely an emergency repair you can do anywhere. If you're out on trail off-roading or something, or you're out in the boonies somewhere, or whatever you have in there and you're losing air pretty quick, so you can't just inflate it and keep driving, you know, far enough. So you can do a repair like this, and at least you can get 50 miles, 100 miles if you have to. Like I said, about 95% of those held up so good that I drove the tires till the end of the tire life, so it was never even an issue. This will wear down as the tire wears down, and yeah, so it's been working great. It's up to you if you want to use this as a permanent repair or not. Like I said, usually the instructions say this is not a permanent repair. This is just to get you to a shop somewhere where they can repair it properly by removing the tire and putting a big old mushroom, gluing a mushroom in from the inside. So that would be the perfect repair. And by the way, electric vehicle tires with foam inside can also be repaired with a mushroom inside. That is not a problem. All the shop needs to do is cut out the cut out the foam in that area big enough so that they can place the mushroom there, but they just cut out that foam. They then treat the tire the same way, install their mushroom, and either leave the foam out or glue it back on. Me personally, I probably would leave it out, because why the heck would you glue it back on? The only thing you want to do is balance the tire after you take the foam out and put a mushroom in, because obviously that can throw the weight off a little bit. Usually not enough that you really feel it, but who knows how it was balanced before. Now this may throw it off and just too far that you can feel it, so it's best if it is balanced after a proper tire repair. Now this by itself here, you will never feel this. This will be totally fine here. And yep, so this is all good. Tomorrow this car is going on a about 200 or 300 mile trip. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it's about 250 miles, I think, for and back. And I'm sure this will hold up just fine. So yeah, pretty cool. By the way, big shout out to EVBASE for the running boards on the Rivian here. It's tough for us vertically challenged people to get in and out of the Rivian. We're kind of sliding over the seat and stuff and probably damaging the seat over time. But with the EVBASE running boards here, oh, this is a major change and makes it so easy to get in and out. So there's a link down below in the description for EVBASE. EVBASE also has other accessories for the Cybertruck, for Teslas, for other EVs. Go check them out. They're really cool. Make sure to use our discount code at checkout so you get a little discount there and get them even cheaper. But great parts at EVBASE. As I said, there's a link or multiple links down below, so go check them out. Well, that was it for today. So hopefully you never have to do that, but in case you have to, now you know how. And like I said, you can buy one of those kits anywhere. You just throw them in the glove box. Maybe bring, depending on what is in the kit, bring a knife along, bring a flat screwdriver along, maybe some needle nose pliers, maybe some side cutters, so you can get this done easily. And don't forget, give us a thumbs up for this video, for all the other videos of ours that you watch, and make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. In any event, thank you for watching. Goodbye.